Ladies and gentlemen,
You ready for the big show?
Ready?
you ready?
Are you ready?
Are you ready?
Ready. You ready for the party?
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Broadcasting from the Frost Brewed Coors Light Studio, it's time for Patchin and Lukens.
700 ESPN, 105.3 FM. It's Patchin and Lukens of the Frost Brewed Coors Light Studio. Thanks so much for being with us. Welcome back to the show. Hope you enjoyed the Greater Spokane League basketball game for the state tournament. Not exactly what Mount Spokane was hoping for tonight, but that's part of the new thing. You lose on the opening day of the tournament, you go home. Do you like that, Rick Lukens?
You know what? If it gets the tournament back to this better format, rather than that stupid thing they were doing where the tournament started off-site, then yes.
So, well, technically it does because 16 teams qualify, and 8 teams, if you win, you get a bye in the first round of the tournament. Those games.
Yeah.
The lower 8, if you lose, you're out at the regional round.
Yeah. But you remember before, the first round of the tournament was happening in Spokane and in Yakima and whatever, and that's stupid. The tournament should all happen in one place. If you want to give somebody some buys, that's great. Do it that way, but don't call the stuff at Spokane Falls Community College the state basketball tournament.
Okay.
A week before you go to Tacoma. Don't do that.
Call it the regional tournament like they do now.
Yeah. So I'll accept this over that. Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How would you feel about a true loser out, the NCAA style? You win, you advance, you lose, you're out.
Sure. You know what? That'd be okay. I kind of passed this whole thing of like tomorrow morning's games just don't matter. For the kids who go to the schools that are playing tomorrow and the parents, it does.
No. All those games matter because you can still win a state tournament tomorrow.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
No, but as I was thinking about this today, and I people can text in and see what you want to. If we went to a true NCAA style, if we went to a 16-team tournament and we had 4 regional sites in the state, and you played a game on Friday, 2 games on Friday, 1 game on Saturday. You cut the nets down. You're the regional winner. You go to the state tournament, and then you play the state tournament in a semifinal championship situation.
Final 4, yeah.
Yeah, would you be okay with that? I mean, so we're not handing out the 7th, the 5th, and 8th place trophies anymore? Would we be okay with that?
Yeah, it might be good. And you could, then you could. I don't know if you'd want to, but you could then consolidate championship sites as well.
Correct.
So you could have half of the championships played in Eastern Washington, half of them played in Western Washington.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, Rick, because I'm trying to figure out how we can get state championships into the new building in Seattle.
Yeah.
And you're certainly not going to get them in for a 4-day tournament. But you might if you had a 2-day tournament.
Sure. You might even be able to get everybody in there as well.
Well, you could do it on alternating weekends.
Yeah.
You could have the smaller schools one weekend, the other school the other weekend. I mean, to me, I'm sitting here watching games, and I'm thinking about it today, and I'm just trying to figure out how in the world can we make this more interesting? Would a true double elimination tournament make it more interesting? I mean, or not a true single elimination tournament.
Right. Yeah, it's a nice thought. It took them so long to arrive where they are right now. How long would it take them to get to something like that?
Yeah. But there's a new guy in charge of the WIAA, and if these tournaments are in fact losing money, then why not go to a Final Four situation where you can hold those in a regional site? I mean, you could, for lack of a better term, you could play a couple of games in the old kennel at Gonzaga, or you could play those games at Eastern on a 2-day tournament. Have the East regional, and it wouldn't necessarily be, it doesn't have to be all teams from the East, but like the NCAA tournament, have the East regional, have the North regional. have the South Regional, have the West Regional, and have teams, you celebrate. You cut down the nets. You're the regional champion. So instead of awarding a fourth-place trophy, we award 4 regional trophies for regional champions, and we turn it into what these kids see every March on television.
Right.
I think that would be a cool idea.
I'd be on board with that, Dennis. Why, you're over there. Why don't you talk to them about it?
They're not listening to me. You know that. I got all these ideas that nobody wants to listen to. I was just trying to breathe some new life into what seems to be a stale tournament. Because you're right, Rick. After tomorrow's games on Thursday, those morning games on Friday don't mean anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and the building you're in will be even less full than it is now.
Right.
And I think the teams love the opportunity to play one more game, and some of those, 4th and 7th place games they can end up being exciting, but there's nobody there to see them.
No, and other teams, Rick, don't want to play those games.
Right.
They really don't. They can't win a state title anymore. I don't want to play. I don't. You've seen guys get the 3rd place trophy or the 2nd place trophy or the 4th place trophy. Most of those teams that just stand there, they hand it to them. They've got, no expression on their face. They take a couple of pictures,
smile,
and they hand it to a manager. They hand it to a coach and walk away.
Yeah, I'm on board for eliminating the trophy games. I was never a big fan of those anyway. There were some who ended up real happy that they'd gotten them, but generally it's what Dennis described. They don't want to go home with a 4th place trophy.
No.
Even though you have to win a game to get the 4th place trophy. They don't want to go home with that. You lose, you get the 7th place trophy. Nobody wants that.
No, you don't. You really don't want you don't want the 3rd place. You don't want the 2nd place trophy. You really don't want the 3rd place trophy because you were 1 win away from winning a state tournament. You don't want the 6th, and you don't want the 8th.
Or the 7th, yeah.
Or yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things you could do. The 5th place trophy, actually, you got beat and you came back and won 3. Well, they don't give that trophy away anymore. That was the old format.
Yeah.
I just thought it was an interesting. Let's do something different. Let's make it like the NCAA tournament, and let's make the regional sites a big deal. I think that would be cool. You could play it in. How many junior colleges do we have in the state? How many Division III programs do we have in the state? Mm-hmm. You could play it in some of those facilities.
Oh, absolutely. The regionals, yeah.
Yeah. Everett's got a building you could play it in. I mean, all these hockey buildings. Tri-City has a building. The ShoWare Center you could play it in. You could play them here in the Tacoma. I'm just trying to figure out a way just to make this more meaningful to me.
And I mean, then you could you could play the 1B, 2B, and maybe even 1A tournaments in Spokane, and the 2A, 3A, 4A in Seattle, or
sure,
yeah,
or someplace. I think it would be a cool idea. You don't think Eastern Washington would want to host a tournament?
Oh, sure they would.
Because that school has been great about hosting things to get kids on campus. And if it's not a 5-day event where you got to block everything out, it's just a 2-day deal. I think and make the regionals mean something. You get a trophy, you cut down the nets, just like you see at the NCAA tournaments. Genuinely, teams are excited, Rick, when they win a regional. You've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
You've seen it in person when teams win a regional. That's a big deal. Those trophies get stuck someplace. You know where the 5th place trophy gets stuck? In the trophy case, and they never dust it off.
It gets pushed
again.
To the back behind other things, yeah.
Oh, look, there's all the 5th and 6th and 7th place trophies. They're on the shelf way down on the bottom, not at eyesight.
What's that tarnished thing down there, yeah.
All right, we got buy or sell today. We're gonna do that coming up. Did you hear the news today from Seattle, Rick?
I did, and I'm still waiting for an actual response from Seattle University or Coach Jim Hayford that Chicago State said, we're not coming to Seattle to play games.
If you haven't heard, Chicago State University has told Seattle U that they are not coming to play a game this weekend. It's the first Division I basketball game or sporting event that's been canceled. It goes further than that. Chicago State also told Utah Valley they're not even going to Utah Valley for their game on Saturday. Kansas City, University of Missouri, Kansas City has informed Seattle University that they are not coming to play on Saturday, but they will travel to Utah Valley to play there. Chicago State citing concerns over the coronavirus and campus concerns, which is why they're not going to let teams come play at their facility, which is interesting because they told Utah Valley not to come, but there hasn't been any outbreak of that in Utah.
Right.
So Seattle U has canceled 2 games that were scheduled to be played this week. They will receive credit in the standings as far as seeds for the conference tournament is, so they'll get 2 wins. But the NCAA considers those a no contest and does not award wins to Seattle U or losses to Kansas City or to Chicago State. The other thing is Chicago State is evaluating whether or not they're going to go to the WAC tournament in Las Vegas next week along those health concern lines.
Yeah. The one thing that was brought up, I saw brought up online was, too bad for the kids at Seattle University. They won't get their senior night.
Yes, they will not.
And, could they do it in Vegas? Well, it's just not going to be the same if you do it in Vegas. It's just not. But Jim Hayford, the coach at Seattle U, responding to someone who was asking about that, closed out his answer by saying, SPU and UW have events sports fans can attend this weekend. I know Jim a little bit, and I think he was taking a little bit of a shot there and saying, Seattle Pacific and UW are still having games this weekend. People are still coming to play them, and you're not coming to play us.
Seattle Pacific is hosting the GNAC tournament. 2 games Friday, 1 game on Saturday. University of Washington has a bunch of games this week. There are a bunch of activities on campus. Here's the interesting thing, Rick, is while Chicago State's basketball team is not coming, their baseball team is at Auburn this week. So apparently there's no concerns for that, right?
Well, they didn't have 10 or however many deaths from coronavirus in Auburn, Alabama.
Okay, they haven't had any in Utah.
Yeah. This has become a huge thing when I don't think we've seen the end of it.
Oh, I don't either.
Yeah.
Now, we are playing the state tournament here in Seattle.
But even that was talked about.
Yeah, and I think honestly, I think that I think the WIAA just basically said we're going to go ahead with this and we'll see what happens. I think you're right. La Liga in Italy is playing has played a couple of matches in front of empty stadiums. Yeah. And they're restricting fans from traveling from point A to point B to watch their teams play. So it was interesting that Chicago State decided to do that.
Yeah, it is.
Are they right in doing that? Or are they wrong in doing that?
You know what? At this point, I think we have to say everybody's got to make up their mind what they want to do. What if just some players from Chicago State didn't want to go? Then are they letting their teammates down if, they let them go? You've got to make up your mind what you want to do, what, risk, if that's the right word, you're willing to take.
So if we travel to Seattle, is that a risk now?
That obviously to the folks at Chicago State, it is.
Yeah. Would you have a problem traveling to Seattle right now, Rick?
No. In fact, I've got people from Seattle traveling to visit me tomorrow, and we're getting their guest room ready. So there you have it.
You putting like sanitizer? We can't buy any more sanitizer.
We're
gonna
put them in their room, and we're gonna duct tape the doors closed.
You're going to make them come in through the window on the outside.
Right.
And they're going to stay with you. But by goodness, we're just going to have to talk to them through thick visqueen is what we're going to have to do. You know what? I guess there was a policy. The NBA put out a letter basically telling their players to not shake hands or high five with fans, but fist bump with fans.
Yeah.
Not sign autographs or at least don't take pens to sign autographs from people.
Right.
I think if you're a league or a sporting group and you're not talking about this and don't have a plan in place, I think that you're not being prepared. I'm not saying you have to use it, but I think you have to be prepared for all scenarios. Yeah. And Chicago State just brought it to the forefront.
I have to share with you, since we're talking about this, what was my laugh out loud moment of the day, which sometimes when I read Rex Chapman's tweets on Twitter, that is often my laugh out loud moment of the day. Rex Chapman tweeted a statement from a woman, I don't know where she was, and she was in front of some microphones, and she was stating how we should take precautions and please don't touch your face, especially your hands or your mouth, okay? And then as she was going to the second page of her statement, she licked her finger and flipped to the second page. The tweet had the little piece of video, and it said, "Wait for it, ...
Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable. All right, we're going to take a timeout. It's Patchin and Lukens here in the Frost Brewed Coors Light studio with you till 6 o'clock today. We got a bit of a program change tomorrow. We are going to be sandwiched by a couple of Greater Spokane League games from the state tournament tomorrow. So we're going to be on. We got a game that starts at noon. We should be on the air somewhere around 2 o'clock. We'll be with you until 3:30, and then we'll take you to a second Greater Spokane League game at the state tournament. So a little bit of a change up in the schedule. And then don't forget, next week we are live in Las Vegas as the West Coast Conference tournament, at least as far as the Gonzaga Bulldogs are concerned, will start in earnest on Monday. We'll be live there covering that and covering the Pac-12 tournament. All right, we are going to take a timeout. It's Patchin and Lukens here in the Frostbrook Coors Light studio. Don't forget the text line is open. It's brought to you by Frostbrook Coors Light at 315-7833, 315-7833. It's Patchin and Lukens in the Frostbrook Coors Light studio, 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM.
KXLX Airway Heights, Spokane. Patchin and Lukens never cheat.
Come on, guys. Play by the rules.
Weekdays at 3, 700 ESPN and 105.3 FM.
Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call Protect My Car for details. In these hard economic times, you got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses could be our cars, especially when unexpected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you do own a car, truck, or SUV made from 1999 or higher, you could stop paying for car repairs. That's right. You might not have to pay a penny to have it repaired. Just dial *239 on your mobile phone now to see if you qualify. You must have an automobile made from 1999 or higher, and all repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Dial *239 on your mobile phone today and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. That's right, total protection for your car and no more repair bills. Just dial *239 on your mobile phone now to see if your car qualifies. That's *239. Never pay for car repairs again. Just dial *239 on your mobile phone now. Dial *239.
Hungry? You might be after you hear that you can pick up a cowboy pizza from Papa Murphy's for just $12. Loaded with pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, and olives, the cowboy pizza can handle any appetite. So saddle up, giddy up, and then eat up, because the cowboy pizza can be all yours for just $12 when you pick one up from Papa Murphy's. Stop in today and say goodbye to your hunger. You want a cowboy pizza from Papa Murphy's.
Hi, I'm IC. For many former servicemen and women with post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury, the battle doesn't always end when they come home. American Humane rescues animals needing forever homes and trains them to become free, life-saving service dogs for veterans in need. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling, Go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots program. Let's give our veterans a fighting chance.
Electrifying football is back. Are you ready for some shock therapy? Season tickets are on sale now. Come and join the ninth man as we rock Death Valley. Get your season tickets for as little as $56. Get your tickets today. Call 509-934-BALL or online at thespokaneshock.com. Shock football is back. Let's shock the world.
Listen to 700 ESPN and 105.3 FM on your Echo.
Thanks.
Just tell Alexa, enable 700 ESPN 105.3 FM. Then say, play 700 ESPN 105.3 FM. Anytime to hear Patchin and Lukens, Golick and Wingo, Stephen A. Smith, and all your favorites from ESPN, including the NBA playoffs, the World Series, and more. Let Alexa make sure you don't miss a minute.
Destination
700 ESPN.
Gonzaga caps a big year in the West Coast Conference. I'm Dennis Patchin with his Coors Light, 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM Spokane Sports Center. Gonzaga has both Players of the Years. The conference announced its yearly awards. On the men's side, Philip Petrusev was named the Player of the Year. It's the 18th time the Zags have won that honor. Petrusev was joined on the first team by Corey Kispert and Killian Tilly. Drew Timme was named to the freshman team. On the women's side, Jill Townsend was named the Player of the Year. She's joined on the first team by Jen Worth. Katie Campbell was named to the second team, and Katie Tarong made the all-freshman team. Both teams back in action starting the West Coast Conference Tournament semifinals. Those games will be Monday in Las Vegas. Spokane Chiefs busy this week, a swing through Alberta. It starts tonight, the first of 3 games in 4 nights. It's in Edmonton. It'll start at 6 o'clock tonight. This 700 ESPN 105.3 FM Spokane Sports Center is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
Let's go!
Missed an interview? You can hear them all at 700ESPN.com.
700 ESPN 105.3 FM. It's Patchin and Lukens here in the Frost Brewed Coors Light studio. Mariners beaten in the Cactus League today 2-0. You know, Rick, if you want to look at stuff in the Cactus League, you can always find things that there's good, and you can always find things that are not so good.
Oh, sure, yeah.
I mean, because you're not really looking at the results of the score.
No,
the standings don't make any difference. The results don't make any difference. It's you're looking at what did fill in the blank do today? What did fill in the blank do today? And Justin Dunn wasn't bad today.
God, Justin Dunn, first of all, wasn't supposed to start. It was supposed to be Taijuan Walker. But Dunn got the start. Yeah, he goes 1 2/3 innings, gives up a run on a hit, struck out 3 and walked 1. But, I mean, here's what I kind of went – I didn't listen to the game, but I went back through and looked at how it unfolded. Yeah. So he strikes out their leadoff guy on 3 pitches, Luis Rengifo, and then he hits Trout and he allows someone else on base. So there's 2 runners on with 2 out, and he gets Pujols on 3 pitches. So that I thought he struck him out on 3 pitches. Great way to end the first inning. And then he went 2 more batters in the second.
Yeah, the fact that he hit Trout, good.
Sure, hit Trout because you don't put him on, okay? Justin Dunn finally understands. Walk him every time. And if you want to plunk him so that the next time somebody else pitches to him, he's a little worried and he's not going to dig in, okay, hit him in a meaty part so you're not doing any damage.
Oh, we're kidding. Come on, people, relax. The bats were quiet today. There wasn't a whole lot of hitting today. In fact, there wasn't a whole lot of hitting on either side. 7 hits between 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, the Mariners had a hit out of Vogelbach. They had a hit out of J.P. Crawford.
White had another hit.
And Evan White had a hit, and then somebody I've never heard of had a hit.
One of the What a Hanson
Yeah.
brothers, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Putting on the foil.
A guy by the name of Alan Hansen who spells his name A-L-E-N.
All right.
Like, I suppose this guy puts carnitas in his tacos.
Yeah,
Sounds like
well-
a crazy person.
Well, hold on a second. Does how you spell your name, does that necessarily reflect on you or reflect on your
Yes,
parents?
because once
It
you're a
reflects
grown
on your
person,
parents.
change your damn name if you have a dumb name.
You know how much it costs to change your name?
I
not-
don't care. Don't walk
Obviously.
around with a dumb name if you have a dumb name. Change it.
It's not worth the cost.
Did I ever tell you the story about how my father changed his name?
I don't think you've shared it on the show, but I think you've told me this story before.
Yeah, so my father was born Bruce Frederick Lukens, and everybody called him Rick, okay? So he hated the name Bruce, and so he looked into legally changing his name. He lived in McCall, Idaho. He grew up in McCall, Idaho, and Boise as well. But when he was going to the University of Idaho, and he was in law school at the University of Idaho, he looked into changing his name legally and saw it was going to cost him, however much, and he wasn't willing to pay that much. So he had been born at Sacred Heart Hospital in Spokane.
Oh, no. He did.
So he came up here. He drove up to Spokane. He got his birth record. Wanted to see his official birth record.
Yeah.
And, they gave it to him, and he could go sit down and take a look at it. And he took a pen, and he scratched out Bruce, and he handed it back to them. There, done.
He
was a law student at the time, so obviously he had something working in his favor there.
So not only did he have a little bit of chutzpah to him,
Yeah.
he didn't at that point in time he didn't have a middle name.
No, that said, my father's middle initial was NMI, no middle initial.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the story that I had heard, but that's a great story.
Yeah. He probably handed it back to him and said, "It's okay, I'm a law student,"
Yeah, I can do this here. When my oldest son was born, they had the time wrong on the date of birth, or time of birth. They had it wrong, and I'm like by 8 minutes.
Oh man!
And I made him change it, and they were mad. We can't change a birth record. I go, it's wrong. I go, what would you do if the name was wrong or spelled wrong? Well, we'd have to change that. Well, I said the date, the time of the date is wrong. Change it correctly. So they had to go through this big rigmarole and they finally 2 days later, they changed it to the correct time.
Okay.
Now, I didn't reach over and scratch it out and write in the right time, but had I known the story of Fred Lukens doing that, I would have done that. That's outstanding. So there was some good today. There was okay today, right?
On what?
The
Mariners.
On the Mariners? Yeah, it was. No, it just there wasn't a whole lot to write home about. Justin Dunn was good. Taylor Gilbo, once again, I think he's one of the guys who looks like a reliever who's going to be able to do some stuff for them. And he struck out one and gave up no hits. And beyond that, there's nothing that really got me excited. I mean, Hirano, who looks like he might be one of the bullpen guys in Altavilla, both pitched, and Altavilla was good. So,
and Hirano gave up another run today.
He gave up a run on 2 hits, in one inning of work.
Is
it's hit and miss.
Is Carlos Gonzalez? Does he have a chance to make this team?
I would say almost none. Again, now I've seen twice with Ryan Divish commenting that Cargo's bat speed looks incredibly slow.
Yeah.
And then referred to him in a story I read today as a former great player whose skills are quite quickly eroding.
Yeah, because he's only hitting .231 in the spring. He's had 13 at-bats, and he's got 3 hits.
Yeah. What you're looking at is a Mariner outfield if he doesn't make the team, and I can't see that happening right now. The Mariner outfield is going to be made up of Malik Smith and 3 rookies, 2 of whom will be starting alongside him, and another will be on the bench. That's what it's going to be.
Well, are we talking Cargo against Bishop? Is that what it is?
That'd have to be what it is, or Fraley, but I think Bishop's out in front of Fraley. So, yeah. That's got to be what it is. Unless the only other thing I could see the Mariners doing, and I don't see them doing this, is going with 2 utility guys and basically having one of those guys be the backup outfielder. With maybe Dylan Moore being your utility guy and Tim Lopes making the team because of his bat, which is just red hot in spring, and having him as a backup outfielder.
Because you're gonna go with Malik Smith, you're gonna go with Lewis, and you're going with Fraley and Wright, correct?
Yes.
And then it's Bishop is probably your 4th guy. So to me, Cargo has to beat Bishop out. I didn't even think about having to beat Dylan Moore out.
Yeah, the one thing about if you're going to go with two utility guys and use one of them as your backup outfielders, you really don't have a backup center fielder unless you want to ask Kyle Lewis to play center field.
Or D. Gordon.
Oh, that's true. You could ask D. Gordon. All right, so you do have that then.
And honestly, Rick, if Malik Smith got hurt, D. Gordon would only play the one day because if Braden Bishop wasn't on the team, they'd bring him back.
Yeah. I mean, it's the line aside from the bullpen. I think it's pretty set on who's going to be on the opening day roster.
Isn't that an interesting situation where it's a young team trying to figure itself out, yet it appears that most of the jobs aren't up for grabs. Most of the jobs look like they've been settled.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that's going to affect that in the early months of the season is the possibility of a trade, which almost never happens in the early months of a baseball season.
No.
But I mean, the trade would have to be a Seager or a Gordon. Those are the only 2 guys who would be movable.
Yeah, and the only way D. Gordon gets moved this early, I think, is if somebody loses a guy for a season.
Yeah.
Because if you were going to trade for D. Gordon to start your season, you would have done it 3 weeks ago, wouldn't you? Or a month ago?
Yeah, I would think so.
I think if D. Gordon gets traded, he's going to get traded at the trade deadline.
Probably.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. Patchin and Lukens here in the Frostbrook Coors Light Studio, 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM. We got the word of the day for you, and we come back.
From our exclusive local weather center, here's the current forecast for the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area.
A windy Wednesday across the inland northwest. Hi, it's Chris Crocker in the 4 News Now, First Alert Weather Center. Winds will die down a little bit tonight. Partly cloudy skies and chilly with an overnight low of 30 degrees. For Thursday, look for a mix of sun and clouds. It's going to be a warm day with a high temperature up into the mid-50s. Cooler, wetter weather for the weekend.
Stay tuned for more Spokane and Coeur d'Alene weather updates from our exclusive and local weather center.
At the intersection, squeaky brakes, the parking lot, squeaky brakes. Every time you stop and start squeaky brakes, you look at it and says, can't you get those brakes fixed? You're a public nuisance.
Hi, Dallas Lowe with Golden Rule Brake. You deserve an honest repair at a fair price, and we do promise to make it easy.
My name is Chris. I'm retired military. I've lived in Spokane for this past 10 years. My wife has lived here all her life. 3 great daughters, Seahawks fan all the way through. So I took it out with the Golden Rule to Francis. Neat thing that occurred, I had my wallet ready, how much it's going to cost, and the folks at Francis says, you don't owe us a thing. They said, we're going to cover it under warranty. You just got a new set of brakes. They stand by their work. They stand behind their products, and it's just neat to have that feeling. I was so elated. They really could have charged. They could have been like the other folks that my daughters have gone to. I said, no, go to Golden Rule. I'll pay for it. You get your brakes done there. And they do.
Schedule now at goldenrulebrake.com.
Yeah, Golden Rule Brake.
Here's Gold Seal Plumbing President Dick Dixon.
My friends and I are very thankful for our general good health, but we have to admit with the advancing years, each of us face new physical challenges. I am so thankful that the plumbing industry is leading the way with new safe, sanitary, and ease-of-use solutions. Check this out. Conversion from your existing handheld shower to an Easy Glide bar.
Easy Glide bars can be installed in any bathroom. Gold Seal Plumbing, providing modern-day conveniences to enhance your quality of life. Visit us at goldsealplumbing.com.
Wherever your adventures take you, count on Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's to make it memorable. From the timberline to the campsite and the lake to the range, get your family outfitted with the right gear. With premium brands like Worldwide Sportsman, Ascend, Eclipse, and Natural Reflections, we've got the apparel and gear to make it the best adventure ever. Stop by today for a one-of-a-kind shopping experience in-store or online at BassPro.com and Cabela's.com. See for yourself at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
Hey, if you want to get on board with Zero Res carpet cleaning, then do it this month. You get a basically double bonus if you hook up with Zero Res during the month of March to get your carpeting cleaned, because it's, well, you can't avoid it. It is spring cleaning time or very, very close to it. And so, yeah, get a jump on spring cleaning. Get Zero Res in there to clean the biggest dirt catcher in your home, your carpeting, and do the best job possible. Zero Res is the #1 carpet cleaner around. I don't think there's a whole lot of argument about that, and including the fact that a lot of carpet cleaning companies try to tell you that they clean just like Zero Res does, which, they don't, because they don't have the powered water system. Zero Res has the right people and the right cleaning solution with the powered water. No soaps, no shampoos, nothing that's going to leave a sticky, dirt-attracting residue in your carpet. So you get a carpet that's a true clean that is going to last longer. And when you're talking about spring cleaning, you're talking about getting a winter's worth of dust and dirt and allergens removed from your home, and now maybe a year, up to a year, or maybe beyond between carpet cleanings. Get that done right. But also, when you book during March, get this price: 3 rooms pre-treated and cleaned for $99. That works out to $33 a room, and that's way better than their normal $44 per room price. So book during March. Just make sure to say Rick Luken sent me when you call 92 Clean. Book that appointment at 92 Clean, or book online at ZeroResSpokane.com. Zero Res, carpets and air ducts, the right way to clean.
You can play buy or sell with Patchin and Lukens. Brought to you by Dynamic Decks. Custom decks built right.
We'll play it later today. Patchin and Lukens here in the Frost Brewed Coors Light studio. Also, Lisa Fortier coming up at the bottom of the hour. We'll do that coming up next. The head coach of the Gonzaga women's program. We'll visit with her coming up as they're headed to the WAC tournament, or excuse me, the West Coast Conference tournament coming up in Vegas. They'll play in the semifinal game on Wednesday. Steve, you got the word of the day for us?
Yes, it's polka.
Really?
Who came up with that word of the day? Did you change my word of the day to polka, Steve?
No.
Why did I do that one? It's like today, like National Polka Day or something. Is it Lawrence Welk birthday? Yosh and Stan Schmenges? Rick? Crickets.
Rick, are you there?
I'm here. I'm sorry. So somebody walked into the studio here, and
it still on?
They're still here. It's Keith Ossio.
Okay,
Yeah.
here's my problem. I'm in remote. I'm in Tacoma at the tournament, and nobody was talking, and it was like, uh-oh, my connection. Help! Are we still on?
We were playing a joke on you, Dennis.
It worked.
April Fool come early.
It worked.
Yeah.
It worked. Polka's the word of the day. Go to 7. Does also want to say anything? You just come in to cause trouble.
I don't know. Keith, do you want to say anything?
No.
All right. There you have it.
It's not the best.
Dynamite drop in there,
Yeah,
buddy.
it's not the best color man in the business for nothing.
It's like the rust never came in. You know what I'm saying? Riding a bike and all that.
Polka's the word of the day. Go to 700ESPN.com, and you can get your 50,000 bonus points by typing in the word of the day. Polka, 700ESPN.com. It's the field pass, and you can do it now. All right, when we come back, Lisa Fortier will join us. We'll hear from the head. Keith, did you want to say anything else before we go to the break?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
All right, perfect. Lisa Fortier coming up next, the Gonzaga women's coach. We'll do it here, 700 ESPN 105.3 FM.
Spring. It'll be here before you know it. Birds chirping, flowers blooming, sun shining.
and powder flying. With 2 new lifts and 200 acres of new gladed terrain, spring skiing is gonna be great. So grab the Spring Fling Pass at Schweitzer and Ski Unlimited for March 9th through April 12th for just $99. You can even apply the $99 towards next year's season pass. But hurry, the price goes up March 9th. The Spring Fling Pass on sale now at Schweitzer.com.
Here's Matt Schubb, owner of Dynamic Decks.
We use treated wood for all our framing, all our posts and all that, but the decking is either a PVC deck or a composite deck, or we do wood decks, but it's usually cedar or redwood, which is harder to come by these days. It offers a 30-year warranty for stain and fade. It offers scratch-resistant surface colors. It offers no maintenance. It's a great product. I think AZEC has 15 colors. There's a lot of products out there, so we'll build you a deck out of whatever product you pick. We pride ourselves on cleaning up after ourselves every day so that when we leave the job site, you come home and your yard looks like your yard, not like a construction site.
Custom decks built right. Dynamic Decks. Visit them online, dynamicdecksinc.com, or phone 464-3325. Dynamic Decks.
Have you ever wondered what's lurking in your ducts?
Did you know that every year nearly 40 pounds of dust and air pollutants are piling up in your ductwork and then circulated through your home or business? These pollutants and dust will shorten the life of your system and can also hurt your air quality. Remove what's lurking in your dirty ducts today with Sturm's high-powered state-of-the-art vacuum system and breathe easier right away. Call today for 15% off residential duct cleaning this month only at 325-4505 or online at sturmheating.com.
Hungry? You might be after you hear that you can pick up a cowboy pizza from Papa Murphy's for just $12. Loaded with pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, and olives, the cowboy pizza can handle any appetite. So saddle up, giddy up, and then eat up, because the cowboy pizza can be all yours for just $12 when you pick one up from Papa Murphy's. Stop in today and say goodbye to your hunger. You want a cowboy pizza from Papa Murphy's.
Hi, everyone. This is Nia Wong. There's been a 10th coronavirus death in Washington, and now Vice President Mike Pence is on his way to discuss what the state is doing to stop the spread. Tonight, 4 News Now takes a closer look at first responders and the coronavirus, plus how the virus is taking a toll on blood banks. Also ahead, Washington State's coronavirus task force, what it's doing to keep students and staff safe. And a new concern, can cash spread the virus? Join me and Aaron Luna for those stories tonight on 4 News Now at 6.
Give your weekends a jolt with some shock therapy. Season tickets are on sale now. Call 509-934-BALL or online at thespokaneshock.com. The Shock are back. Together, let's shock the world.
The Zags making a clean sweep for the Player of the Year. I'm Dennis Patchin with Coors Light, 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM Spokane Sports Center. Sophomore Philip Petrusev and senior Jill Townsend were named Players of the Year in the West Coast Conference. Petrusev becomes the third Zag in the last 4 years and the 18th GU player to win it. 2 others on the first team with Petrusev, senior Killian Tilley and junior Corey Kispert. Townsend wins the Women's Award coming off a season-ending injury from a year ago. She was joined on the first team by junior Jen Worth. Both teams will play in the semifinals of the West Coast Conference Tournament Monday in Las Vegas. The work continues for the Whitworth Pirates. Preparations for the NCAA Division III tournament ongoing. It's travel day today for the Bucks heading to Texas for Friday's first-round game with LeTourneau University. Spokane Chiefs 3-4 night starts tonight in Edmonton. The 700 ESPN 105.3 FM Spokane Sports Center is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
You're listening to Patchin and Lukens on 700 ESPN and 105.3 FM.
Welcome back to Patchin and Lukens here in the Frost Brewed Coors Light studio on 700 ESPN 105.3 FM, joined by Lisa Fortier. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun to coach these guys this year.
Let's talk about what happened last night on the 3 line on the NCAA snapshot. That surprised you at all?
No, not really. We expected probably to be in the top 16. I don't know if we expected the 3 or the 4 line. I really haven't been paying much attention to it. I think call it a superstition or call it a just try to stay focused. I'm a perfectionist. I'm an oldest child. I've got all of those issues. So just focus on the task at hand is what I've been trying to do. Someone asked me on Saturday about it, and I was like, I know what's going on, but I haven't overanalyzed it. And you know, you never know how accurate they're all going to be anyway. So.
Right. So the task at hand isn't to win the tournament to get to the NCAAs, because you're in.
We're in.
The task at hand, since you're doing that, is to win this so you get to play at home. I mean, I don't think you have to tell your team that, do you?
I don't think so. We've discussed as a coaching staff all year on what we should and shouldn't tell our team. Should we tell them that we have this long streak going, or should we not? Should we tell them that there's never been a team who's gone 18-0 or not? You know, and I think they are well aware. They know, especially now that it's so with the reveals. I think back in the day, but they didn't do that. They probably wouldn't have as much. They wouldn't dig necessarily, but now it's out there. It's on all their Instagram feeds, and so they know, and I think they want it. So my task at hand is more to make sure that they're focused on how to do the things we need to do to get to those, you know, that 3 or 4 line and be in Spokane for the first and second rounds.
So what did you learn from the tournament last year that can help your team this year?
I would say that, like, it's nice for people to have a victory, you know, under their belt. The last year's team, we'd been in the NCAA tournament, but we hadn't won a game in a while. And so it was nice for them to experience what winning's like and what it's like to prepare. I think knowing that everybody's really good is really important. I think we have confidence, or we should have some confidence. We had lost Laura and Jill 2 weeks, maybe less than 2 weeks before, and we went and almost beat Oregon State on their floor. We just played poorly in the last couple minutes. Hopefully we know that you can't play poorly in the last couple minutes and expect to win games in the NCAA tournament, whether it's first round, second round, Final Four, whatever. So there's lots of takeaways, but I hope that they know that the level of competition is going to be great. We're going to see somebody you don't know, you're not most often not familiar with. You might be. And just kind of goes back to preseason tournaments and that stuff. And Thanksgiving is more the feeling than it is going to the WCC tournament where you're trying to beat a team 3 times or something.
So you're going to the tournament. You didn't get what you wanted to last year. Can you make sure that doesn't happen this time around in Vegas?
I hope we can. That's the goal. I mean, it's really great to win the regular season, and I think there's separate things. And it's a different kind of feeling, even knowing that you're going to the NCAA tournament. We want to cut down the nets down there, and we want the confetti, and we want to prove a little bit that we should be the best team in the conference, and we are, and that we can continue on. It wasn't a fluke. It wasn't those guys with Gonzaga, whatever they call it, overload or dislike, or I don't know, to show them that we're the best. And so it's going to be a lot of work. Those teams are good, and we have a lot of respect for all the teams in the conference, certainly the ones that are projected to meet us there. And it's going to be fun to see who makes it, and I'm just like the players. I would rather it be happening tomorrow too, but we do have some things to work on, so I'm trying to be patient and pretend like this is what we need to do. Let's follow the order of events.
I'm going to go back to your line. The task at hand is to not play a game for 9 days. So how do you deal with that? What do you do so there's no rust when you get down there?
Well, we'll scrimmage our practice guys a little bit. We've taken some time off. We're lifting hard. Today we're going to get a bunch of good conditioning in to make sure that we're still sharp in that regard. And shoot, if you make baskets, I just told them on the media, if you make baskets, then everything looks a lot better. Offense looks like it's better, well executed if you make the basket at the end. So we're going to do those things. We're going to watch some film, and we're going to probably play some shooting games to make sure that this time of year, we went on a foreign tour. So we've been going since end of July, actually, with practice and stuff. There's been some break, but it's a long year this year. And so this time of year, you want to make sure that their mind and their bodies are fresh, but at the same time, get to the focus. So the focus will come more on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we're going to try to work hard and have fun today.
Nice reward from the conference for your team, and then Jill gets Player of the Year. Tell me about that.
I just think it's great. I mean, this time last year, she was about to be out. It's almost a year since she went out with an injury that required surgery, season ending, and to go from that point to being the Player of the Year, it's really a testament of how hard she's worked. I think she has really good teammates surrounding her and a good support system, but also she just puts in the time. She's tough. She's a tough sucker, and she is physical and mentally tough, and she's improved. She was not a player who we let shoot a bunch of threes her freshman year, and she kind of was just supposed to bring energy, and now she's supposed to bring energy. She's supposed to bring communication. She's supposed to make baskets. She's just doing that. She just keeps getting better. So I'm really happy for her. I always think that we have a player worthy of that award, and we don't always get it. And so I just think it's a testament to her and our team, actually, that she got it. So I'm really proud of her.
Congratulations. Good luck in Vegas.
Thank you.
Lisa Fortier, we talked to her a little bit earlier in this week as Gonzaga getting ready to head to Las Vegas. This is an interesting crew. They lose Katie Campbell, Rick, to an injury. But I think it was soon enough that they were able to adjust and figure it out, where last year they lost those two players, Jill Townsend and Stockton, right in the semifinals, and weren't able to adjust to beat BYU in that championship game. But then they figured it out, winning a game in the tournament, almost beat Oregon State. I think this team could be dangerous in the tournament, and especially at home. That's what they're playing for.
Right.
You heard her say that. Not often have we heard Gonzaga coaching staff say, we know we're in the tournament. They're in. They know they're in. What they're fighting for is that top 4 seed to get in and to play the games at home.
Yeah, they win they get a home court advantage. I believe they can win those first 2 games, and then I am completely convinced of this. They will be up against Kelly Graves and the Oregon Ducks. That is going to happen.
As the 1-4 game in Portland.
Yes, exactly. That will happen, and when it does, it will be awesome.
Except for Kelly and Lisa.
Yeah, it won't be good for them at all. And
they don't want to play each other.
No, they absolutely don't. But you know it's going to happen if Gonzaga keeps winning. It's going to happen.
That's like Gonzaga getting the 1 seed and Long Beach State coming back and winning their league tournament and being the 16 seed and playing in Spokane.
Yeah.
They don't want to do that. All right. When we come back, it's buy or sell time. We play it next. 244-ESPN 509-244-3776. 5 questions. You're either buying or you're selling. 244-ESPN 509-244-3776. Buy or sell comes your way next. 700 ESPN 105.3 FM. It's brought to you by Dynamic Decks. Custom decks built right.
Spokane Shock season tickets are available for as little as $56. Call 509-934-BALL or online at thespokaneshock.com. Our team, our city. Let's shock the world.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year, automatically, dollar for dollar, with no limit on how much you can earn. Extra cash? Come on, how amazing is that? In fact, it's even more amazing when you realize all the places where Discover is accepted. Over 95% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. So when it comes to Discover, get used to hearing yes more often. Learn more at discover.com/yes. 2019 Nielsen Report. Limitations apply.
This is what Flo from Progressive sounds like in one of our many hilarious commercials.
And basic motorcycle policies start at just $75 a year. I know, right? Do you think I say I know right too often? I do. I know, right? I have to stop, don't I? I know.
And this is what that same commercial sounds like on your motorcycle. Yeah, even our commercials are better on a bike. Progressive keeps you on yours. Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Annual premium for basic liability policy not available in all states.
Listen to 700 ESPN and 105.3 FM on your Echo.
Thanks.
Just tell Alexa, enable 700 ESPN 105.3 FM. Then say, play 700 ESPN 105.3 FM. Anytime to hear Patchin and Lukens, Golick and Wingo, Stephen A. Smith, and all your favorites from ESPN, including the NBA playoffs, the World Series, and more. Let Alexa make sure you don't miss a minute.
Destination
700 ESPN.
This is a national healthcare alert from the 24/7 Diabetic Health Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one has diabetes, listen closely. Now, regardless of your age, if you have insurance, you may qualify to receive diabetic testing supplies with little to no out-of-pocket cost. Get free delivery, free information, and all the paperwork is handled by our accredited suppliers for free. Call the 24/7 Diabetic Health Hotline now for details. Toll free at this number. But wait, there's more. If you call right now, you could get a meter upgrade. In addition, we'll give you a free pair of diabetic socks as our special gift to you. Regardless of your age, if you suffer with diabetes and have insurance, you may qualify to get free delivery of your supplies.
800-443-4996. 800-443-4996. 800-443-4996. That's 800-443-4996.
Play ball! It's time for the Alpha Omega Tours and Charters annual trip to cheer on the Mariners as they battle the Atlanta Braves. During this 2-day, 1-night tour, you will enjoy 2 games, one on Saturday, May 30th, which is Marco Gonzalez bobblehead night. Then Sunday, May 31st, watch the game from our box suite, including lunch. Tour includes round-trip transportation, hotel, 2 games, and 3 meals. Tickets go fast. Buy yours at aocharters.com. That's aocharters.com.
On air and online, worldwide, 24/7. This is
700 ESPN and 105.3 FM. Buy or sell with Patchin and Lukens. Sponsored by Dynamic Decks. Custom decks built right.
.700 ESPN, 105.3 FM. It's Patchin and Lukens in the Frostbrook Coors Light studio. Time to play Buy or Sell. Brought to you by Dynamic Decks. Custom decks built right. We need one more caller. Steve says we're short today on callers. We need one more. 244-ESPN 509-244-3776. Jump on to play Buy or Sell. All right. 5 questions, either buying or selling. Brought to you by Dynamic Decks. Custom decks built right. Rick Lukens, you ready to buy or sell?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, here we go. Buy or sell. It starts tomorrow. There's games Thursday, games Friday, games Saturday. And they're on games. They're available to places that you can see them. Buy or sell. I'll watch a game from the West Coast Conference Tournament before Gonzaga plays on Monday. Either men or women.
Sell.
Okay.
Just tell me who Gonzaga is going to play on Monday, and I'll be there.
Okay. I will tell you, BYU TV does a really good job with the production of those games.
I like those. I like BYU TV. I know I've met one of the guys who's one of their producer directors, and they're very sharp. Yeah,
they're good.
Yeah, they do a good job.
They're good. All right. Buy or sell, Rick Lukens. I'm going to watch a game from the Pac-12 tournament, not involving a Washington team. Huskies or Cougars, take them out.
You know what? I'll buy it. I mean, I don't have like hard plans to, but I'm pretty sure I'll end up watching. Huskies and or Oregon. Playing. Sure, I might. Yeah.
Well, okay. So the Huskies they're out of the mix.
I can't. Okay, no, I'll probably still watch one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Buy or sell, Rick Lukens. State high school basketball tournaments are relevant.
Yeah, I think sure, I do. They are. I mean, everybody's kids went to high school at some point. Everybody has kids who are going to high school. It's relevant in some way. You know somebody who's interested in this tournament, so that makes it relevant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buy or sell, Rick Lukens. The best macaroni and cheese I ever ate was at a restaurant.
I'm going to buy that with this caveat. I don't really like macaroni and cheese. I never really, Dennis just hit his forehead.
What?
I never really have. And that goes back to the whole Catholic boy thing where on a Friday night, we either had tuna casserole or macaroni and cheese. Every once in a while, they'd mix in grilled cheese sandwiches with tomato soup. But it was usually one of the three. And the macaroni and cheese, I'm sorry, I didn't enjoy it. And yet I've had some really gourmet stuff, including at, what's the place out by Steve's house that we're...
Mac Daddy's.
Mac Daddy's.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone to restaurants and had the gourmet stuff like Mac Daddy's or other places, and it is very good. But I just wanted that out there. So the best I've ever had is certainly at a restaurant, yes. And that's only because I'll only eat the gourmet stuff because I don't like the other stuff.
So early in your young relationship with your wife, did she know you didn't like macaroni and cheese, and that was pretty much off the table?
That's one thing that Teresa was always really good about was if I said, I'm just not a mac and cheese guy, we didn't have mac and cheese, and when we did, because the kids liked it, I got fair warning. So it was, hey, we're gonna have macaroni and cheese tonight. The girls want macaroni and cheese, so I was like, okay, I'm good with that. And I'd say make some extra vegetables or something, and I'll eat a little macaroni because you can't not eat it in front of the kids, And so make extra broccoli or whatever, and so that was always good. Yeah.
You and I both worked enough nights that my wife would be like, okay, I will make that stuff that I know you don't like on the nights you're not home.
Yeah.
And that worked out great. All right, Rick Lukens, buy or sell? I've used my grill in the last 2 weeks. Your outdoor grill.
Yeah, I'll sell that. I actually had the cover off and was about to do it. I was because remember last week I told you I was going to cook up the bratwurst.
Oh yeah.
So I boiled all the bratwurst in beer and got it fairly well cooked, and then the plan was I'll throw it on the grill. And when I went to do it, we got this nasty swirly rainstorm.
Yeah.
And I said, nah. I went back out, put the cover on the grill, and I cooked them up. I've got an indoor, on the stove grill type thing with little raised things, and I just cooked them on there.
You were that close.
Yeah, I was, but I haven't done it. Yeah.
All right. Steve the Wingman.
Hey, that's me.
Hey, your voice sounds familiar. Are you Steve the Wingman? Anybody who knows Steve the Wingman, that actually
Rick Luken.
Okay, that actually happened to Steve here a week ago. So if you personally know Steve the Wingman and you see him, just walk up behind him and whisper to him, "Hey, are you Steve the Wingman?"
It's funny you mention that. My dad just did that last night. So
I like your parents, Steve. I really like.
So do I.
Really like your mom and dad. Good for you, Al. Nice job. Buy or sell, Steve. I'm going to watch a game from the West Coast Conference Tournament before Gonzaga plays.
I doubt it, so I will sell that.
Okay. All right. Buy or sell. I will watch a game from the Pac-12 tournament not involving a Washington team.
I might buy that. And I would watch Kelly Graves and his Oregon Ducks.
Okay.
So
you're going to buy that.
That would be a team that I'm interested in watching, so I'll buy it.
That's a change-up. I was thinking more of the men's tournament than I was the women's tournament. That's interesting. Isn't the women's tournament this week?
I think it's a week earlier, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's this week.
Yeah.
Steve the Wingman, state high school basketball tournaments are relevant. Buy or sell?
I will certainly buy that, yes. Are they what they used to be back in my day? I don't know, maybe not. But I still think it's a fantastic thing for the kids that are involved, for the coaches, for the schools, for the, just I still think it's a great thing for everybody that's involved. So Steve, I will buy.
Do you like my idea of 4 regional sites and then you bring them together for a Final Four and everything's a loser-out game?
I mean, really, I thought that sounded fantastic. Yeah, that's a great idea. I like the idea. I liked back in my day, we had the regional tournament, and it really felt like a true regional tournament, where Meade would play Richland out in Cheney or something. And it felt like, you really wanted to and needed to win that to go to state, whereas now that is the I don't even know what that is, where that fits in. It's like it is part of state, but not really, or it's not really the regional. No, I like your idea and really having a true regional feel to it. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, cut the nets down, crown a regional
Absolutely.
champion. You give them hats and T-shirts just like the NCAA. I think that would be a cool thing.
Yep.
I really do.
Yep.
All right, Steve, buy or sell, the best mac and cheese I ever ate was at a restaurant.
I'm going to sell that. One of I really do like the food at Mac Daddy's, and I do highly recommend it. But I'm going to go with I mean, I guess I'm gonna say it out loud. It's called Seattle's Best Mac and Cheese. One can purchase it at Costco, and my wife and daughter really do love it. And I would say that that's something that's probably my favorite macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
And we make that at home, so I will sell.
Okay. Steve, I've used my grill in the last 2 weeks.
No, have not. Just last night, my wife asked me if we had any. I think her phraseology was, "Do we have any hamburgers?" And so immediately to my mind, I went, "Oh crap! I haven't gotten the grill out in a while, and I don't know if it's got propane. And where's my scrubber brush thingy?" And then but she was talking like for her hamburger helper.
Oh,
and so
okay.
that that's a different kind of thing. But we do have the hamburger patties. We don't have nice fresh buns. We need to get some buns. We don't have all the things that we need for hamburger grilling. So I need to get on that. I gotta sell.
I will watch a tournament from the WCC before Gonzaga plays. So I'll buy that one. I will also watch a game from the Pac-12 tournament. I can't get enough basketball this time of year because I know it's going to be gone here very shortly. And when there's games on every day that matter, I like that. I think basketball high school tournaments are relevant, so I'm going to buy that to the people who are involved in them, coaches, players, athletes, fans, coaches, cheerleaders. I don't think they're relevant to the general public anymore, not like they used to be. Sorry about that, Steve. I know that it sounds like old guy talk, but I just don't think that that's the case anymore. So and it shows by the attendance. It just shows by the attendance. I'm selling the best mac and cheese I ever ate was at a restaurant, and Mac Daddy's probably the second best I ever had. I got a recipe that somebody gave me use Cougar Gold cheese to make mac and cheese, and I put a little bit of jalapenos in it, and I put some bacon in it, and I've actually made it at home 3 times, and I think it's fabulous. My wife thinks it's fabulous. All the people who have had it think it's fabulous, and it's one of those, Rick, I make enough where there's leftovers because it gets better the longer it sits.
I understand that, yeah. I'm not that way. I like leftover spaghetti as much, if not better, than I like first edition spaghetti.
Yeah, there's certain things that they just taste better. So I'm gonna sell that, and I'm not using now. I used my smoker in the last 2 weeks. Does that count? No, it's not a grill, right?
That's right.
I smoked a brisket because my wife was making brisket chili, where we cut up a brisket and then threw it in a homemade chili thing, and that was really good. But I have not used my grill in the last 2 weeks. All right, Steve, to the phone lines we go to play, buy, or sell.
All right, his level of excitement never ceases to amaze me. It's Ted.
What's up, Ted?
Hey, Ted, how are you?
What do you want?
What's that?
What level do you want?
Oh, we're getting.
I need you to bring it down a few notches. You're always just so fired up. I mean,
by the way, Steve, back in my days, we still used real baskets.
Real peach baskets, yeah.
Yeah.
And women weren't allowed to play sports, so yeah, no, I get that.
Well, women weren't even allowed to be in the stadium, so.
Wow. Hey, Rick, have you ever seen? I don't know if Ted has. Steve's too young for this. Did you ever see 6-a-side girls basketball?
No, I never did.
I heard about it. I never saw it. Where 3 players didn't cross the court.
Right, they'd stay. They could only operate on one end of the floor.
One end of the court. Ted, did you
I
ever
heard
see
tell
that?
about that.
Yeah.
You did see 3 or 6-a-side women's or girls basketball.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I think my aunt, when she was playing at Hunters, they had that
6-a-side.
It was some kind of goofy, like, hey, you're ladies, you can't clearly participate fully in athletic adventures, so let's cause you to only do half the game or something. It was some dumb thing. So
it was a strange, weird thing.
They didn't want the women running full court, so they could only run half the court. It's just stupid. All right, Ted, I got 5 questions. You ready to roll?
Yeah.
I'm going to watch a game from the West Coast Conference Tournament before Gonzaga plays. Are you buying or are you selling?
probably sell that.
Okay. I'm going to watch a game from the Pac-12 tournament not involving a Washington team.
Do I have to watch the whole game?
I'm just flipping through the channels and stopping for 5 minutes would be a sell. If you watch a half, I'll let you buy that.
Well, I mean, I might watch a half.
Yeah, then that's fine. I'll let you have that one. That's a buy for you. State high school basketball tournaments are relevant. Buy or sell?
Not as relevant as when I was a kid, but I still think they're relevant.
Okay. The best macaroni and cheese I ever ate was in a restaurant.
No, best macaroni and cheese I ever ate was what I make.
Okay.
And I hate macaroni and cheese.
You do?
Yeah.
Man, that's a bad question. Lukens doesn't like it. Ted doesn't like it. I apologize for the question. I may have to withdraw this question today. Ted, I've used my grill in the last 2 weeks.
Unfortunately, no. It's all cleaned up, set up. Everything's ready, but not yet. Every time we wanted to, the weather went.
Yeah. It's you look. It's like this would be a good day to grill, and about the time you do it, it's like, no, not today.
It's almost like washing a car, you know.
Oh, true. Yeah. All right, Ted. We appreciate you calling. Thanks so much.
You have a good one.
All right, that's Ted. All right, Steve. No ties to break here. Ted, we had a chance for two. Ted said, "Not today, not tonight."
Not tonight. Hey,
No.
you know that's funny, Dennis. That right there, that not tonight business.
Yeah.
That of course.
Not tonight.
That's Kurt Russell from the movie Miracle, which is a movie about hockey. And our final competitor is a big hockey fan. He's a fan of the Leafs. It's Toronto Rob.
Hey, Rob, how are you?
Hey, doing pretty good, Dennis, Rick, Steve.
Hey,
how's
Rob.
it going?
Good.
Rob, are you from Toronto?
I am.
Oh, wow. What brings you here?
I found my biological mother on the internet, and she lives here. So I moved here to get closer to her as she got older, and met a lady and had a couple of kids, and here I am.
The rest is history.
I think we've had this conversation before. I'm getting a deja vu feeling here.
Yeah. I shouldn't. Yeah, I apologize.
It's been about 2 years, though.
Yeah.
All right. Rob, I got 5 questions. Are you ready to go?
I am ready.
Okay, I'm going to watch a game from the West Coast Conference Tournament before Gonzaga plays. Are you buying or are you selling?
I'm selling.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's
no
all right.
story behind it.
No. That's it's people. Some people don't have the time, and some people just don't care. So.
Do they play basketball in Canada, Rob?
Yeah, we do. We have the Toronto Raptors, current world champions. So.
Okay.
I thought
that was a good one, Rob.
I thought that was Toronto of the state of Washington. That's my fault.
No. Good one, Rob. Way to shut Steve down there. There you go. Take that, wingman. Buy or sell, Rob. I'm going to watch a game from the Pac-12 tournament, not involving a Washington team.
I will sell that one too.
Wow. Okay. Do you have a TV, Rob?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
okay. It's just tuned to hockey then, right?
Hockey and local sports, yeah, but it's pretty much the Zags for basketball.
All right. Buy or sell, the state high school basketball tournaments are still relevant.
Yeah, I'm going to buy that, and I heard your idea earlier, your explanation.
Yeah.
I think a regional is the way to go, especially because they're in some financial trouble. They really should listen to that idea.
And make it a big deal. Make it important. Make winning a regional a big deal where you get a trophy, you get shirts, you get hats, you cut the nets down. Okay, good. I'm glad you're on board with that, Rob.
Sure am.
The best mac and cheese I ever ate was in a restaurant.
I got to sell that because I make a wicked 3 cheese, little Gruyere in there. Get some spice. Change up your cheeses. That's the way if you're kind of bored with mac and cheese.
Okay.
Do I make it myself?
Gruyere? Is that what you
Oh,
said?
yeah.
Gruyere? Okay, that's kind of a French-Canadian kind of thing?
It's a melting cheese is what it is.
All right.
It's a French cheese, yeah. It's like the fondue cheese.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It makes it creamier.
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yes, it does. Rob, the final question today is I have used my grill in the last 2 weeks. Save us, Rob. Save us.
I wish I could save you, but I'm not.
We all fail. We all fail. We sold that 5-0. All right, Toronto Rob, thanks for calling.
All right, take it easy, guys.
No, that's all right. Hey, we're just as much to blame as you are. 4-1 we sold. We're not watching anything from the West Coast Conference before the Zags play. I'm the only one who's going to do that. 4-1 we bought. We'll watch a game from the Pac-12 tournament not involving a Washington team. 5-0 we still buy. High school state basketball tournaments are relevant. 4-1 we sold. The best mac and cheese we ever had was in a restaurant. 3-2 or 5-0 we sold that we have used our grill in the last 2 weeks. Nobody has. We should all be ashamed of ourselves. Rick was this close. Steve thought he was this close. It's shame. Shame, shame, shame. All right. That is Buy or Sell, brought to you by Dynamic Decks, custom decks built right. We'll read some of your texts when we come back. Plus, what should the Seahawks do in the draft? It looks like everybody thinks they're going to take a defensive player. Should they do that? We'll talk about it next. 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM.
Spring. It'll be here before you know it. Birds chirping, flowers blooming, sun shining.
And powder flying. With 2 new lifts and 200 acres of new gladed terrain, spring skiing is gonna be great. So grab the Spring Fling Pass at Schweitzer and Ski Unlimited for March 9th through April 12th for just $99. You can even apply the $99 towards next year's season pass. But hurry, the price goes up March 9th. The Spring Fling Pass on sale now at Schweitzer.com.
Hi, everyone. This is Nia Wong. There's been a 10th coronavirus death in Washington, and now Vice President Mike Pence is on his way to discuss what the state is doing to stop the spread. Tonight, 4 News Now takes a closer look at first responders and the coronavirus, plus how the virus is taking a toll on blood banks. Also ahead, Washington State's coronavirus task force, what it's doing to keep students and staff safe. And a new concern, can cash spread the virus? Join me and Aaron Luna for those stories tonight on 4 News Now at 6.
Grammy-nominated Joe Bonamassa, hailed as one of the world's greatest guitar players. Blues rock titan Joe Bonamassa, live in concert on Thursday, March 19th at the First Interstate Center for the Arts. Tickets available at ticketswest.com. Joe Bonamassa. Don't miss your chance to experience the guitar event of the year.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold? Medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Ah, the copperhead snake. It hisses before attacking. But that's not a copperhead. That's the Sullivan's RV freshwater tank overflowing into their black one, which is backing into their vent pipe, making for a very different kind of attack. One that arrives just in time for taco night. It's wild out there. When it gets too wild, Progressive has your RV covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The boat shows are over, but their prices from the Coeur d'Alene Boat Expo are still in effect. It's the absolute best time of the year to get big savings on the boat you want this summer. Harrison Barletta, Malibu and Access, Cobalt, Regal, and Chris Craft. They're all still at Boat Expo prices. Boat slips are available with purchase. We have over 200 new and used boats, all under 64,000 feet of indoor display area. It's happening right now at Hagedon Marine Center in Coeur d'Alene, next to Cedars Floating Restaurant.
Gonzaga caps a big year in the West Coast Conference. I'm Dennis Patchin with his Coors Light, 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM Spokane Sports Center. Gonzaga has both players of the years. The conference announced its yearly awards. On the men's side, Philip Petrusev was named the player of the year. It's the 18th time the Zags have won that honor. Petrusev was joined on the first team by Corey Kispert and Killian Tilly. Drew Timme was named to the freshman team. On the women's side, Jill Townsend was named the player of the year. She's joined on the first team by Jen Worth. Katie Campbell was named to the second team, and Katie Tarong made the all-freshman team. Both teams back in action starting the West Coast Conference Tournament semifinals. Those games will be Monday in Las Vegas. Spokane Chiefs busy this week, a swing through Alberta. It starts tonight, the first of 3 games in 4 nights. It's in Edmonton. It'll start at 6 o'clock tonight. This 700 ESPN 105.3 FM Spokane Sports Center is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
Tweet away, Twits, on Twitter at 700ESPN. Patchin and Lukens do.
Yeah. 700 ESPN 105.3 FM. It's Patchin and Lukens in the Frost Brewed Coors Light studio. Welcome back to the show. All right, Rick, we got any texts on buy or sell?
Yeah, Dennis. Phil in 9 Mile has used his first ever text to our show.
Oh,
his
cool.
first ever text to our show to insult us. He says, "Am I the only one who's grilled at least 5 times this year? Man up!"
I have actually used my grill. I used it back in January a couple of times and once early in February. But I've not used it since the weather's kind of turned.
Jay the plumber backs him up, says, "Come on, guys, I've used my grill. Step up your game." Dan says, "Anyone who doesn't like mac and cheese needs to try the mac and cheese balls at 5 Points in Belltown." I've been to Belltown. I've never been to 5 Points, but I would certainly be willing to. It must be like an appetizer or something.
Where's Belltown?
That's kind of very north end of downtown. You know where Como TV is?
Yeah.
Just south of there is the Belltown area. 4th Avenue, 3rd Avenue, 2nd Avenue.
There was a place that you and I used to go that was over there with the Como people. Is that Belltown? Was that place?
That was a little just on the north edge of Belltown.
Okay,
Probably not,
right.
but
Okay.
yeah.
That's a long way to go for mac and cheese balls.
It is, but next time I'm over there,
Yeah.
maybe we'll try it. Like the poor folks from Chicago State won't be trying it this weekend because they decided not to go to Seattle.
No, they did. They're afraid.
Mark says, "My mom played that brand of basketball in Richland in the 50s. That 6 aside.
Rick, when you were in high school, was there girls basketball?
Yes, and my high school had a pretty good team, and they played regular basketball.
Okay, we did too, but basketball, volleyball was my sophomore year they started, and basketball didn't start for girls until my junior year. So we were in Idaho. So I think Idaho was a little bit behind the state of Washington. And certainly most of the west side was behind the east side.
Yes, I would agree with that. Tim says Lisa Fortier is always a great interview, and Tim also wants us to know he just topped 5 million in bonus points on Field Pass. Okay.
Wow.
And then Joe says they had the best mac and cheese at school. Hey, this is your kind of guy, Steve. Steve, who likes the school-made tacos.
Never had a school-made taco. Never said I did.
I think I inferred that, Steve.
You did. You're a dirty liar.
Joe says we had the best mac and cheese at school, homemade with that cheese the government used to give away.
Oh, wow.
The old government cheese.
Yeah, and a different Phil, Phil in Pullman, says it's nice to see us back on YouTube. It's nice to be back on YouTube, Phil, since the incident, since the thing.
Yeah, since Steve got us kicked off that time.
We're not going to talk about it. We just call it the incident.
It is the incident, but it was Steve's fault. That's all I'm going to say.
I brought Dennis some hard tacos, some crisp tacos, and he threw them at me. And, man, YouTube didn't like that. I tell you what.
Is today our first day back, or were we back
it is.
yesterday?
Now I thought it was going to be a 3rd to the 3rd.
Yeah.
Like December 3rd. Nope, but they threw in the extra day, so today was the first day back.
We were on 90-day suspension for the incident?
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Is there video of this incident?
Well, I think
it got taken down.
Video
Is that what it is?
Video might have something to do with the incident,
I know video had something to do with the incident because it was on video.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to be back on YouTube. So thanks, everybody, for all your concern and inquiries on why we weren't on YouTube, the three of you. We appreciate that. Don't do that again, Steve.
Okay.
The incident. That's pretty good.
I know. I like just referring to it that way.
Don't say any more than that.
Gary wants us to know that, on a side note, the Spokane Chiefs have made honorable mention in the CHL top 10 today.
Oh, they're getting votes now.
How about honorable mention? Yeah.
So that's that's in the top 25 polls. Others receiving votes.
That'd be analogous to that. Yeah.
Well, they're playing some great hockey right now.
Yeah, they are. At the right time of year.
Yeah, they just can't catch Portland or Everett, who's playing great hockey.
Yeah.
Well, the Chiefs have the 5th best record in the entire league.
In the entire Western Hockey League, they are 5th, just ahead. I can't remember who they're just ahead of. Kamloops, maybe.
They're ahead of the team who is first in the BC division.
Yeah.
They have the 3rd best record in the Western Conference, but the 3rd best record in
their own division.
In their own division. So the BC division, as Steve would like to say, is garbage.
It would appear.
They play Edmonton tonight, who's got a great record. So we'll see what happens tonight. That'll be an interesting game. All right. The Seahawks are going to draft a defensive guy, aren't they? That's what everybody. Have you seen them? Has anybody seen a mock draft with them taking an offensive guy?
No, I have not. I saw one today because Bob Condotta ran down some of the top mock drafters, and one of them one of those guys had him taking an offensive lineman with the first pick, and another idiot had him taking a linebacker with the 27th overall pick. But
when giving their mock drafts, do they use a mocky voice?
That's an excellent question, Steve.
They do not, Steve. It's in mocky type. Okay, so it's a different italic.
Right.
You can tell if they're mocky typing at you. So, I mean, the Seahawks have only drafted since John Schneider's been there 3 times in the first round. They've never drafted with their own pick.
Right.
They've always traded down. So, I mean, anybody who thinks the Seahawks are going to draft in their spot is, I don't know what you're smoking.
Here's what I think, and I kind of broke this down today into 2 scenarios. If they draft in the first round, which means one of 3 things: they pick at 27 where they're slated to pick, or most unlikely they trade up, or less unlikely, more likely, they trade down but remain in the first round, but there's only 5 more spots after them in the first round. If they draft in the first round in one of those 3 scenarios, I'm nearly positive they take a defensive player. But if they trade back, I think anything can happen.
I agree, especially if they trade out of the first round.
Yeah. If they trade back, I think that happens because they answered some of their defensive issues during free agency.
Here's the thing is, and I saw what you had in your notes today, Rick, about defensive linemen or corners. Basically, was pretty much different names, but those 2 positions. I think if they sign a corner in free agency, then I don't think they pick one in the first round. But if they sign a defensive lineman in free agency, I still think that could be their first pick overall in this.
Oh, for sure.
Draft.
It depends on how much they're spending on the free agency. Or I'm thinking, because I'm still thinking maybe they get 2 defensive linemen / pass rushers in free agency. We had that discussion. Was it yesterday?
Yeah, on Monday, I think. Yeah.
Where I threw out Robert Quinn and Vic Beasley.
Yes.
Then I think that frees you up to go maybe cornerback with your first pick. Or if the best athlete available is a cornerback, then maybe you pick that cornerback. The one a lot of people like for the Seahawks is the Diggs kid, Stephon Diggs' brother, who plays at Alabama, Trevon Diggs.
Yeah, and I've seen him multiple different places his name is not just in one place where, you go check 10 mock drafts and it's 10 guys. It's like there's like 3 or 4 guys think that he's a fit for what he can do, his size, his skill set.
Well, 32-inch arms.
Yeah, he's a fit in what Pete Carroll wants out of his corners.
And if they do that, and here's my thing: if they draft in the 27th position, and they pick, and I think if they draft in that position, it's almost certainly a defensive player. I don't care who that guy is; he has to play and be a multiple down player for them all season. You can't have any more of this, we're going to draft Bruce Irvin and we're going to use him in pass rush situations. Or we're going to draft L.J. Collier and he's going to suck, so he's not going to play. Or we're going to draft Malik McDowell and he's going to get in an ATV accident. Or whatever. You can't do that anymore. You've got to draft a guy who's going to come in and make an impact now.
Let me ask a question. What is Griffin? What Griffin did at the end of last season, does that change what you're going to do in free agency and a draft?
You talking about Griffin, or are you talking about Flowers?
No, I'm talking about Griffin, the pass rusher.
Shaquille
Griffin or Shaquem Griffin.
Shaquem Griffin. No, I don't think so. I don't think he was that impressive that it lessens your need in the pass rush situation.
Okay.
I think he's going to augment their pass rush situation in special situations, special downs, and he's still going to be a special teams player for them, undoubtedly.
The other interesting one that you found, Rick, and I've seen most of the mock drafts don't have trades in them. There's a couple. I think Sports Illustrated did one this week where they said, well, here's the most trades we expect to see, and made a bunch of deals. And, of course, the Seahawks traded down in that draft. But the guy, there's a guy at the Draft Network,
Trevor Sikkema.
Yeah, said that the Seahawks would take the 27th overall pick and trade it to the Los Angeles Chargers, who would take Jordan Love, which I'm not sure Jordan Love is going to last to the 27th pick. But, okay, that's why the Chargers would trade that pick. And they would give the Seahawks 37, 101, and 167. Which would give the Seahawks 5 picks in the first 101 picks.
Absolutely.
Would you make that deal?
I would absolutely make that deal if I'd already addressed some of my defensive concerns in free agency. Yes. Because as we talked earlier in the week, there are so many wide receivers, offensive linemen, and top-end running backs who are going to go in the first 3 rounds of the draft, that if now you've got 5 picks in the first 101, that goes into basically the early 3rd round?
Yes.
Yeah. Because round 4 is going to start at 106. So that goes back to late to the end of the 3rd round. With 5 picks, you could load up on some impact talent.
You'd have what? You'd have 3 in the second, 2 in the third, I think, under that scenario.
Well, yeah, it's possibly it would be 3 in the second and just 1 in the third, because 101. No, that's true. 101 will be a 3rd round pick.
Well, they have 3 right now in the top. They have 3 in the 2nd and 3rd round combined. This would give them 5.
Yeah. Because they're going to come in right about 100 with compensation for Earl Thomas. So, round 3 starts with the 65th pick. So, that would be 2 in the second and 3 in the third is what it would be.
I think, and it always affects it now that free agency is first. I think the free agency is going to affect how they draft. But, Rick, I think the draft has become more important this year than maybe the last couple of years, because they need guys. If you're in a win-now situation with Russell Wilson and Bobby Wagner, okay, those are the 2 best guys in your roster. You're in a win-now situation because you're not going to have them in 3 years. You got to get impact guys in the draft this year. You can't get those guys that aren't going to help you for 2 years, because that could be the end of Bobby Wagner. You may not have him when a guy you pick now, if he's on that redshirt plan and then he plays in situation, and by the time we get to year 3, he's an impact guy. That to me, I don't want to do that. You need, which is why this might be the one time they need to trade up.
And I've been saying all along, this could be the year they do trade up. It just doesn't seem natural to even say it because it's the Seahawks we're talking about. But maybe it is the year they could trade up because they've got 2 second-round picks to give away. And maybe they could do it. I mean, last year, we all thought last year's draft class was pretty good because the Seahawks started out with only 4 picks or something like that? 5 picks, whatever it was. And they end up taking all these guys. And they got one true impact player in DK Metcalf. And I believe that, that had their linebacker, had they not signed KJ Wright, they would have ended up with another impact player in Cody Barton. But because they re-signed KJ Wright, that allowed them to bring Cody Barton along a little more slowly. So I think they really would have had 2 impact players. But they had one, as it turned out. And they're going to need more than that. And I think, for me, the best situation is they address issues on the defensive line in a big way, like doling out a good chunk of their $50 million plus in salary cap space on pass rushing, defensive line / pass rushing, and then go ahead and trade back in the first round if you can turn 1 pick into 3 picks, do that and start loading up on offensive linemen, a receiver, a running back, 2 receivers, a running back, and if you can get a cornerback in there, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, let's boy.
All right, okay, when it comes to cornerback, by the way, I didn't say this, but I think the Seahawks would like to upgrade at cornerback with what happened at the end of the year for Trey Flowers, but I don't think that they're willing to throw Trey Flowers on the scrap heap. They just hope he had a bad sophomore year like Shaquille Griffin did. And if you look at the numbers, I saw this number today. When opposing quarterbacks threw against Trey Flowers, the quarterback rating was significantly lower than when they threw against Shaquille Griffin. Problem is, they threw way more against Trey Flowers than they did against Shaquille Griffin.
Yeah, Griffin ranked out as one of the highest corners for effectiveness last year.
Yeah, but he did, and he was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
But I mean, that doesn't change the fact that the quarterback rating metric is probably flawed.
I believe it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and it's the only thing that's available for that kind of all-encompassing metric. But that nonetheless, when they threw against Flowers, it was a worse quarterback rating than when they threw against Griffin. But Flowers got beat deep, notably in a few really bad situations.
Yeah,
that's what happened, and that's become the conversation on him.
His big play ratio was not good last year.
No.
Well, we're gonna get our first glimpse here in a week and a half as free agency begins.
Yeah, well, the 16th is the you can tamper day. That was the first you can tamper day. So teams can start negotiating with guys who are other people's free agents, and then 2 days later, free agency begins.
And it goes in a flurry because with the salary cap, there's limited money. It's not like the NBA or it's not like Major League Baseball where it goes very slowly. It goes in lightning style, and part of that is going to be where does Tom Brady want to go?
Well, the big names are going to go first. Jadeveon Clowney will be gone by the end of that first day. Tom Brady will be signed, sealed, and delivered somewhere by the end of that first day. And others.
Yeah. Clowney might be gone in the first hour.
Yeah.
Because teams need to know. If they're going to spend money on Clowney, be it the Seahawks or somebody else, they need to know before they spend anything else because he's going to control what's left of your salary cap.
For sure. Yeah, I hope that at least once they hit free agency on the 18th, that the Seahawks are pretty sure of where they stand with Clowney. Be that, he's coming back or he's not. I hope they're sure of where they stand with him.
Do you give him an ultimatum on the 15th?
That doesn't sound like something the Seahawks would do.
But what I'm saying is if you're counting on him to sign and you don't know what he's going to do, and then all of a sudden in hour 2 of the free agency he walks away from you, I think you have to know before the tampering period begins if he's signing or not.
I think they'll have a decent idea. I just hope they know for pretty darn sure.
It'll be interesting to see what's going to happen here. All right, we're going to take a timeout. It's Patchin and Lukens here in the Frostbrook Coors Light Studio, 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM.
This is your Coors Light Eagle Minute, a look at Eastern Washington University athletics. I'm Larry Weir. The women's basketball team wraps up their regular season on the road, and tonight they play at Idaho State. The Eagles have a young team that struggled to get consistent wins this season, and head coach Wendy Schuler says it's important to pick up a win or two this week.
I think for confidence more than anything, just to feel good about yourself going into the tournament. And this is a team, when you're young, that is really important, for a young team to just believe in themselves and to have that confidence.
The Eagles wrap up the regular season at Weber State Friday and will start Big Sky Conference tournament play next Monday. The men's basketball team hosts Idaho State tomorrow on Red Reefs Court. The Eagles are tied with Montana for first place in the Big Sky and have a chance to avenge a December loss at Idaho State. Game time is 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Our pregame coverage begins at 5:30 here on 700 ESPN and 105.3 FM. That's your Eagle Minute, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
From our exclusive local weather center, here's the current forecast for the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area.
A windy Wednesday across the inland northwest. Hi, it's Chris Crocker in the 4 News Now, First Alert Weather Center. Winds will die down a little bit tonight, partly cloudy skies and chilly with an overnight low of 30 degrees. For Thursday, look for a mix of sun and clouds. It's going to be a warm day with a high temperature up into the mid-50s. Cooler, wetter weather for the weekend.
Stay tuned for more Spokane and Coeur d'Alene weather updates from our exclusive and local weather center.
Hungry? You might be after you hear that you can pick up a cowboy pizza from Papa Murphy's for just $12. Loaded with pepperoni, sausage, mushrooms, and olives, the cowboy pizza can handle any appetite. So saddle up, giddy up, and then eat up, because the cowboy pizza can be all yours for just $12 when you pick one up from Papa Murphy's. Stop in today and say goodbye to your hunger. You want a cowboy pizza from Papa Murphy's.
Play ball! It's time for the Alpha Omega Tours and Charters annual trip to cheer on the Mariners as they battle the Atlanta Braves. During this 2-day, 1-night tour, you will enjoy 2 games, one on Saturday, May 30th, which is Marco Gonzalez bobblehead night. Then Sunday, May 31st, watch the game from our box suite, including lunch. Tour includes round-trip transportation, hotel, 2 games, and 3 meals. Tickets go fast. Buy yours at aocharters.com. That's aocharters.com.
Being number one is usually great, but not when you are the number one cause of both death and disability for most ages, including our youth. The Brain Injury Alliance of Washington is working to stop brain injuries from being number one. We passed the first youth sports concussion law in our country to keep our youth safe playing the sports they love. But most brain injuries don't occur on the field of play. Think car and cycling accidents, strokes, and aneurysms. A brain injury can affect every aspect of who you are, your memories, your ability to work. The Brain Injury Alliance provides free services to children and adults to improve quality of life throughout their lifetime. Help us stop brain injuries from being number one. To get help, call 877-824-1766 or visit BIAWA.org. Sponsored by the Washington State Traumatic Brain Injury Council.
Hey you, how's it going? Been doing anything fun lately?
Hey, like usual, no. I can't afford to have fun.
Yes, you can. You just need to check out bidonspokane.com.
Bidonspokane.com? I think I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
It's seriously so awesome. An online auction where you can buy items from local businesses at 50 to 80% off retail value. It's free to register, and all you have to do is bid on the items you want. The online auction part makes it fun, too.
Wow, thanks for letting me know. I'm going to check out bidonspokane.com today.
At Northern Quest, we're used to paying big jackpots, but recently, we hit one. Business Insider magazine named us the 9th best casino in America, and Golf Week ranked our Kalispell Golf and Country Club 30th in the top 50 casino courses nationwide. So we just wanted to thank our amazing team members for everything you do to make things like this possible. We're lucky to have you on our award-winning team. Learn all about our new national recognition at 9thbestcasino.com.
You can always text Patchin and Lukens via the Coors Light 700 ESPN text line. 509-315-7833.
But not while you're driving.
Powered by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Mountain cold refreshment made to chill. You can contact the show on the Frost Brewed Coors Light text line. 509-315-7833.
Patchin and Lukens here in the Frostbrook Coors Light Studios, 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM. Don't forget, 8:45 pregame tonight. Gonzaga Prep trying to stay alive in the state tournament. They will take on Sumner in a loser-out game tonight. Remember, the first day of the state tournaments now, Wednesday, is loser-out day. You win, you advance into the quarters. You lose, you're done. Thanks for playing. All right, Rick, we got some people chiming in on the text line on this thing we were talking about with the Seahawks.
Yeah, I want to start with a couple of texts from Alan and Muffler Ryan. Alan says, I hope the Hawks draft a quarterback in the 6th or 7th round and groom a replacement for Wilson. And Muffler Ryan says, I bet they grab a QB this year. All right, Muffler Ryan, apparently too many fumes are seeping into your driver's compartment. Alan, same for you. The Seahawks, if they draft a quarterback even in the 7th round, have wasted a pick. I don't know if Dennis even agrees with me on that, or Steve.
Here's the thing is, they need to – did you read the first text where the texter said they need to groom a replacement?
Yes.
Okay. Is Russell Wilson not going to be the starting quarterback in 4 years?
He will be the starting quarterback in 4 years.
I believe Russell Wilson has 7 years minimum.
4 more guaranteed with the Seahawks.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
Yes, but 7 years minimum, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why would you draft his replacement if you think he's going to be the starter for the next 7 years?
Especially given this fact. Let's say you draft a guy in a middle round or a late round like Jimmy Garoppolo, okay, out of a smaller school. And he turns out to be really good. And the guy you would groom as a replacement to a really good quarterback, yet you're not going to stop playing that really good quarterback, Russell Wilson or Tom Brady. You're not going to stop using them because they're too damn good. And in Russell Wilson's case, he never comes out of a game. Why would you use a draft pick on a guy who you plan will never see the field in his entire first span of his first contract? Will never see the field.
Unless you think Russell Wilson's contract is the last one he's going to sign with Seattle, and I don't, then that is a wasted draft pick because we're on a win now situation. Now, is a 7th rounder going to help you win now? Probably not. But do you think you're going to get Russell Wilson's replacement in the 7th round in 4 years?
Oh, you might get lucky, and then you've got 4 years or 3 years actually to groom him. 3 years to groom him, but Russell Wilson's contract goes 4 more years. So you groom him really well, and then he becomes a free agent, and somebody knows he's pretty good. Maybe you have an assistant coach who goes to coach somewhere else, says, hey, let's go get that guy, okay? And you're going to lose him. And you wasted a draft pick on him, and you groomed him, and you're going to lose him.
My thing is they need to address who the backup quarterback is going to be.
Yes.
But to me, the backup quarterback is not going to be a guy you pick in the 7th round. Because he's not going to be able to win you any more games than 40 of these guys off the, than BJ Daniels is going to win you.
What, Steve?
Well, I was just going to say maybe I'll play devil's advocate for these yokels here for a second and say, are they thinking look across the NFL. Quarterbacks always get hurt and miss a full, the whole season. That's going to happen to Russell Wilson at some point, so you need to bring in a backup. Like, I completely agree with you guys. You're not going to draft a guy and sit him on the bench for 4 years and have that do you any good. I'm just trying to figure, why is it that these people, why do you think the Seahawks need to draft a quarterback? I'm trying to piece it together, and my only thought is it's got to be injury related. Like, they just assume that at some point Russell Wilson is going to go down for an entire season, and you need to have a really good backup. That's about the only thing I can come up with, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
Well, how many games in a row did Brett Favre play? How many games in a row did Eli Manning play?
Yeah.
How many games in a row did Peyton Manning play? How many games in a row has Tom Brady played, except for the 1 year where he got hurt? And they had Matt Castle, who turned out to be nobody.
Well, the Green Bay Packers are a good example. They drafted Brett Favre's replacement and groomed him to replace Brett Favre. And Brett Favre wasn't going anywhere, and that's how Matt Hasselbeck ended up a Seahawk.
Yeah, the second guy they drafted actually did replace him, though, in Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. But that was a few years later.
Brett Favre got hurt. He started the game, got hurt, came out. Aaron Rodgers came in and got hurt immediately and missed games, and Brett Favre started the next game. So it was like, that's how Iron Man Brett Favre was. 297 games, by the way.
Yeah,
Brett Favre.
It's here's the thing is, if they spend a second or a third round pick on a quarterback, I'm going to be as mad at the Seahawks in a draft than I've ever been before in my life. I need guys that can rush the passer. I need another receiver. I might need another running back. I need another offensive lineman. I might need a tight end with a late draft pick or a free agent signing. I need a whole bunch of guys, and the last thing I need is another quarterback, especially with a high pick.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, I just looked this up, and I'm trusting that Wikipedia is right. This may or may not be right. I feel like it's good, though. Russell Wilson already has the 7th longest consecutive start streak in NFL history at 128.
Yeah, he's a freak. He is a physical freak that he's never been hurt.
Well, absolutely. That there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But why would you draft? Here's the thing: is let's say they draft somebody in the 3rd or 4th round. Pick a 3rd round quarterback. I don't care. Pick Anthony Gordon. They take Anthony Gordon with a 4th round pick. Okay?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson gets hurt this year. How many games is Anthony Gordon winning this team?
1 against Arizona.
Okay, and Russell misses 4 games.
Yeah.
He's winning 1. Okay, I can get a guy up the street that can win me 1 game.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting a pick, and I don't want to say Anthony Gordon's a wasted pick. The Seahawks drafting a quarterback, no matter who he is, at the 4th pick, I'm not doing that.
No, they're not going to waste a draft pick on a quarterback. They'll bring guys in. They'll always do.
Sure.
They'll bring in free agent guys, and that's what they'll do. And they will sign a veteran, and it could be Geno Smith again. We'll see what happens there. Alan says WalterFootball.com has the Seahawks taking the offensive tackle from Oregon. I believe the Seahawks are the draft is pretty deep in offensive linemen, and the Seahawks have a lot of picks, so I think they will draft linemen later on in the draft. But they've already got their starting left tackle, and I believe they're going to sign George Fant to play the other side. So, and Jermaine Ifedi's going to be gone.
Here's who's the center next year, Rick?
Yeah, a good question. I don't know if you can expect Justin Britt back. I think that's a long shot. I think your center, God, it might be Joey Hunt again.
No.
I don't think you can win the Super Bowl with Joey Hunt as your center. I'm just going to say that right now.
If Joey Hunt is on tap to be the starting center, then I quit, and I will not look at anything with the Seahawks. No.
Are you Spike Lee, Steve? You're out this year. You'll be back next year.
Yeah. As long as Joey Hunt is not slated to be the starter. If you want to have him on the team as a backup for 5 different positions, maybe. But he cannot be slated as the starting center. No.
I think that will be. I think that's an interesting thing.
That is a good issue. We need to talk. I need to study up on that one more. And I don't know where Britt is. I don't know if you expect that he'll be back. And if he is back, do you want to pay him the salary that he's scheduled to make? I think that's another question, too.
Well, yes. I mean, if he was healthy, Rick, he may not be back because of his cap hit that they're going to have this year. This may be a guy that if you really wanted him back, you may be looking to re-sign him, tear up his contract and re-sign him with a different number, renegotiate his deal, because I don't think you can afford to keep him with all the guys you've signed on the offensive line with that kind of money, with that cap hit. But now that he's hurt and may not be able to play at the start of the season, that makes it even more likely that you wouldn't sign him. Or if you do, you sign him to a 1-year low deal, or a deal like you gave Ziggy Ansah last year, and it's basically based on appearances. How many games you play in is how much money you're actually going to wind up getting. Yeah. I think they'd like to have Justin Britt back, but A, they don't know if he's going to be healthy. B, not at the price that he's going to make.
I'm not sure what Homeschool Sam is getting at here, Steve. He says what, quote, red shirts are, quote, due to make an impact this season. He's trying to be cute with something there? Because it's going over my head.
No, I mean, because Pete does like to say that guys will redshirt.
Okay, yeah. All right.
What, not this last season, but the season before, Rasheem Green didn't have a great season, and then this year he had a really good season. Yeah. I think Collier, Dennis, plug your ears for a second. I think Collier could be a guy like that.
Sure. Well, they're hoping he is.
Did very little last year, and the Seahawks at least would have him on tap for having a good year in 2020. Yeah. So,
Steve, I don't have a problem with LJ Collier being use the term the red shirt. If you take him in the 4th round, if you take him in the 5th round, if you take him in the 3rd round, I got a problem when you take him in the 1st round and you say we're going to. I don't think everybody's saying it, but people are hitting around it. It was his red shirt year. No. First rounders don't get red shirt years.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But at some point.
No, what do you mean? You get 4 games to play, and you're still a red shirt now, Dennis.
At some point,
the rules have changed.
I maintain what I said before. At some point, and I'm fine with this not being the point for you or for anybody. At some point, you have to forget what round he was drafted in. You said, we've got this guy. What kind of contribution can he make, or can he make a contribution?
Well, and when the year starts, that will be my stance.
Yeah.
Until he doesn't play again. Right. And as a healthy scratch. Right. And then I'm going to be even more upset.
Double down,
I'm going to be more upset because now it looks like year 2 is going to head into year 1.
Yeah, I think of red shirts, and technically by the end of the year he wasn't a red shirt, but Ugo Amadi as the guy I think could make an impact this season for sure. And if there was a spot for him to play, and I think that remains to be seen, I'm going to say Marquise Blair. Well, Cody Barton for sure. We've already talked about
Barton,
him.
Yeah.
But Marquise Blair as well. I think that they're really high on his talent and his drive and his hitting ability and everything. Yet right now there's not a place for him in the starting lineup at safety.
No. Because the 2 guys that they had last year are back.
Then they were really good.
Yes.
Yeah. That was one of the few nice success stories for them last year.
But he will play in 21, Rick.
Yeah.
Because one of those 2 guys is not going to be back in 21, and they might both not be back in 21.
Subman Joe's tired with trading down. Says enough of the 7th, 3rd, and 4th round draft picks. As Russell Wilson says, they need stars. Trade up or take the best player available.
Subman Joe, speaking of Russell Wilson, where was he drafted?
3rd round.
Oh, that's right. The 3rd round.
Yeah. Travis Cougar says, tell Clowney to make up his mind early.
Roster.
They do, yeah.
They don't need to pick him in the 2nd or 3rd round.
Right.
No matter how many 2nd or 3rd round picks they have.
Yeah.
They need an actual human being to fill that role, but who it is really does not matter.
I agree with that statement, but they do have an opening, okay? It's the night shift manager at 7-Eleven. Somebody has to fill that job. Seahawks don't have it. They got to fill that job.
It could be Subman Joe, for crying out loud. And while he's there, he can share his thoughts on who they should or shouldn't draft in what round.
Coeur d'Alene Doug wants to tell us that Jimmy G. Garoppolo covered for Brady when he got caught. He got his suspension and won all 6. I'm pretty sure that's not true. Pretty sure that's not true.
No.
He got hurt, and Brisket came in. Cody Brissett.
And it wasn't 6 games.
Or not Brissett, Jacoby.
So who said
Brissett.
that? CDA Doug? Gosh dang it, what is with you people today? I haven't eaten yet, so I'm highly irritated.
Those are alternate
your
facts.
facts are 1,000% wrong,
Steve,
Doug.
they're just alternate facts is what they are.
What are you doing?
Hold on a second. When Brady got hurt, it was Matt Castle.
It was Matt Castle.
No, he's talking about when Brady
got suspended.
It was at first Jimmy Garoppolo.
It was Garoppolo, and Garoppolo got hurt in the first game.
I think it was the first game, yeah.
And then Jacoby Brissett played the second, third, start of the fourth, or maybe second got hurt in the third, and there was somebody else in the fourth game. Wasn't there?
I think there was.
There was a guy off the street.
No, as a matter of fact, when Brady was suspended, Matt Stafford covered all 16 games and won them all and led them to the Super Bowl. I'm just going to make stuff up like Coeur d'Alene Doug.
But
Deep breath, Steve. I just think there are positions here that we're talking a lot about pass rusher. We're talking a lot about corner. We're talking a lot about who's the right tackle. But who's going to be your center? I think that's an important thing. Who's going to be your nickel guy? The Seahawks played the Seahawks played less nickel last year than any team in the last 6 years in the NFL.
Nickelback.
Yeah, they played less nickelback. So maybe Pete doesn't like nickelback, but what I'm saying is
we need more Nickelback. We don't need Michael Kendricks on the field for every damn play.
Well, you're not going to have Michael Kendricks is hurt. I don't know if he's going to be ready to go at the start of the season.
That's a real shame.
So, all right, we're going to take a timeout. Patchin and Lukens here in the Frostbrook Coors Light Studio, 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM.
The boat shows are over, but their prices from the Coeur d'Alene Boat Expo are still in effect. It's the absolute best time of the year to get big savings on the boat you want this summer. Harrison Barletta, Malibu and Access, Cobalt, Regal, and Chris Craft. They're all still at Boat Expo prices. Boat slips are available with purchase. We have over 200 new and used boats, all under 64,000 feet of indoor display area. It's happening right now at Hagedon Marine Center in Coeur d'Alene, next to Cedars Floating Restaurant.
Hospice of Spokane is more than a service. It's the only nonprofit hospice service in Spokane.
Over 40 years ago, our founders set out to improve the way people experience end of life in our community.
The whole model of hospice care is that the client, the patient, is not the only client, but is the family is also part of the circle of care of hospice.
Hospice of Spokane, your #1 choice in hospice care.
Your 3-time world champion Spokane Shock are back. Come help us reintroduce the world to Death Valley. More action, more scoring, more fun. Get out to a Shock game for as little as $8 a game. Call 509-934-BALL or online at thespokaneshock.com. Our team, our city. Let's shock the world.
Live Cage Fight invades the Coeur d'Alene Casino. Live Saturday, March 7th. World Fighting Championships and House of Fury present an explosive night of action. The card will feature Coeur d'Alene's own Daniel Gadley, Jacob Jokella, Craig Feisner, Jillian Coates, Tyler Syjon, and many more. Tickets start at just $40. Visit the Coeur d'Alene box office or WFCfights.com. That's WFCfights.com. Live Cage Fights, March 7th. Don't miss it. All bouts subject to change.
The Zags making a clean sweep for the Player of the Year. I'm Dennis Patchin with Coors Light, 700 ESPN, 105.3 FM Spokane Sports Center. Sophomore Philip Petrusev and senior Jill Townsend were named Players of the Year in the West Coast Conference. Petrusev becomes the third Zag in the last 4 years and the 18th GU player to win it. Two others on the first team with Petrusev, senior Killian Tilley and junior Corey Kispert. Townsend wins the Women's Award coming off a season-ending injury from a year ago. She was joined on the first team by junior Jen Worth. Both teams will play in the semifinals of the West Coast Conference Tournament Monday in Las Vegas. The work continues for the Whitworth Pirates. Preparations for the NCAA Division III tournament ongoing. It's travel day today for the Bucks, heading to Texas for Friday's first-round game with LeTourneau University. Spokane Chiefs 3-4 night starts tonight in Edmonton. The 700 ESPN 105.3 FM Spokane Sports Center is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill.
Spring cleaning time, it's upon us. I think spring starts, the 20th, 21st officially, but usually you got to jump on that anyway. Certainly got to jump on it and let somebody else do all the hard work, like Zero Res. Give Zero Res a call during the month of March, and not only are you going to get a great jump on your spring cleaning, because nothing freshens a home like having the carpet Zero Resified. Nothing makes a home seem cleaner and better and healthier than a Zero Resification of your carpeting. But you're also going to get a cheap price if you book during March. You still get the same powered water treatment from the great techs that Zero Res has. It is truly the best service you can get in your home for cleaning carpets, or maybe for anything in the category of home service. And with Zero Res, if you book during March, you're going to get 3 rooms pre-treated and cleaned for $99. Just say Rick Lukens sent me, and then ask for the $99 special when you call Zero Res to book your appointment. Call them at 92Clean. Call 92Clean or book online at ZeroResSpokane.com. Zero Res, carpets and air ducts, the right way to clean.
Looking for tickets to your favorite game? Your first stop should be the Field Pass at 700ESPN.com.
700 ESPN, 105.3 FM. It's Patchin and Lukens here in the Frost Brewed Coors Light studio. Just a reminder, we've got another GSL game from the 4A Boys State Tournament coming up tonight. That'll be Gonzaga Prep trying to stay alive, taking on Sumner. Don't forget, tomorrow we've got a doubleheader sandwiched around Patchin and Lukens. Starting at noon tomorrow, the Central Valley Bears. Is it the boys team we're playing? Yeah, the boys team will play at noon tomorrow. We'll have that game for you. Then we'll have Patchin and Lukens starting approximately 2 o'clock, taking you to 3:30, where we will have another game. The Central Valley girls will be in action, and that'll take you up to the Eastern Washington Eagles at 5:30. So we got all kinds of basketball starts at noon with Patchin and Lukens in between the 2 high school games, then Eastern Washington hoops. So we'll have all of that for you coming up on tomorrow's show.
I love a text we got from Bryson in Rathdrum who says, running back depth killed us in the playoffs. Well, it really wasn't the depth issue, because when you lose your 1,500-yard rusher and your number 1 draft choice from a previous season, you now have a depth problem. Depth didn't kill them until 2 guys got injured.
3.
Well, 3, because C.J. Procise broke his arm. Okay, so 3 guys got injured. It seemed like the same time. Yeah, now you've got a depth problem, but you're right. There is a depth problem going into this season. Seahawks will draft a running back, and there are some good guys. They're going to go 3rd and 4th round. Some decent players: Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss, the kid whose name I can't pronounce from Louisiana State. Those are 3 guys right there who I think are going to go 3rd and 4th round. So
nobody would have been, if your top 3 running back gets hurt in the NFL, you're not counting on your 4th round guy, your 4th pick guy.
No,
it's not
your special teams guy all of a sudden becomes your number 1 running back.
No. Now C.J. Procise won't be back next year.
No.
So they're going to need another body.
Yeah.
And depending on who's the kid from Miami who had to come in late?
Travis Homer.
Travis Homer. Does he make this team next year?
Absolutely. They like him.
Okay. I'm going to say he's going to be in a fight for a job next year.
I think he's going to carry the ball for them next year, Dennis. And I think Chris Carson's going to be healthy. And I think they're going to draft a running back, maybe, hopefully, of the ilk of the three names that I just mentioned, and that guy can actually make an impact because Penny's going to start the season on the PUP list. That's me talking.
Okay. Well, we'll see. They do have questions at running back, but I think those running back questions are more injury, and it's down the list because you can't go out and get everybody.
Right.
I've got the Seahawks draft figured out. First-round pick quarterback, second-round pick running back, third-round pick running back, fourth-round pick running back, fifth-round pick running back.
How about tight end?
How's that sound, everybody?
Put tight end in there, Steve.
They don't need a tight end. They need 5 running backs and 3 extra quarterbacks. You people have lost your damn minds.
And we've lost all of our time. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks so much, Steve the Wingman, Rick Lukens. We'll see you tomorrow right after the Central Valley girls game, boys game, I should say, at about 2 o'clock for Patchin and Lukens. Hope you can join us on a Basketball Thursday, 700 ESPN 105.3 FM.
Whether you're after spring turkey or fish in the rivers or on open waters, get outfitted for success at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. With premium brands like Blackout, Redhead, and Johnny Moore's, we'll equip you with the right gear for any adventure. In our stores, you can test the flex on a fishing rod and get that bow tuned precisely where you need it. Plus, get excellent advice from our outfitters. Come in today or shop online for a wide selection of products. Experience it for yourself at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.